Okay, so thank you guys. Obviously, great questions. We'll keep it the parasha part shorter so we don't keep everyone hostage. Tonight was sponsored anonymously. He said that I can decide what it's for, so I'll take that honor. So we'll do it for Ilui Shma of Yehuda ben Ephraim, Chana bat Avraham, Benson ben Moshe, Refuah Shlema for all of the sick people, Divre bar Rivka, and as well as the hostages. Obviously, they should all come home. The soldiers should all stay safe. Even though there's a ceasefire, unfortunately today there were a few soldiers that were killed on a post, and the terrorists went in and killed them. So we are always praying for our soldiers, and we want good news out of Israel. And God willing, Hashem should give the proper foresight to Trump and Netanyahu to make those right decisions. So this week's Parashat Beshalach. You know, it was Einas's Barnes Parasha. Obviously, it's a really fun parasha. It's an amazing parasha. It's the Exodus, meaning we left Egypt in theory last week, but it's the famous part of the splitting of the sea that we all refer to in the story of Pesach, where the Jews got to the riverbank. It was water in front of them, Egyptians behind them. What do? The famous midrash of Nachshon ben Amirav leaps in until the point where, until his nose, what the midrash says, and the water splits. That's the midrash, but the Torah talks explicitly about the water splitting, becoming like two walls. The Jews walked through the dry land. The Egyptians came into the dry land, and the water closed onto them, saving all the Jews and destroying all of our enemies. After this happens, there's a lot to discuss in that story. After this happens, though, the Jews break out and start Az Yashir Moshe. They sing that paragraph that's in the Torah. It's almost a page long in the Torah. Of that, then Moshe and all the Jewish people sang a song to Hashem. It's a beautiful song that we actually say every day in our tefillah. It's in our siddur. Every day Shachar you read it. And it's fascinating, it's long, it's very deep, and it has a lot of really wondrous lines. And I think I spoke about this in the past, but I'll address it very briefly right now. One of the lines in Az Yashir is Ze Eli ve'anveu. This is my God, and I will glorify him. That's the literal translation. This pasuk is brought up all over the Torah, all over halakha. It refers to when we do mitzvot, we have to try to do the mitzvah in the best way. That comes from this element of Ze'eli v'anveu, where we're going above and beyond of glorifying God in our mitzvot. We do it. We buy tefillin. We love an etrog. You want to buy a beautiful etrog that's clean, that's spotless. Because derives from this pasuk of Ze'eli v'anveu, of hidur mitzvah, of glorifying God. But interestingly enough, this pasuk, Unkelus, translates this pasuk into Aramaic, and he says something that it doesn't seem like to be talking about it at all. He says, Den Elokai ve'avne le mikdash. Ze'eli v'anveu. This, it translated to, Den Elokai, this is my God. Ze'eli, that makes sense. Ve'avne le mikdash. And I will build for him a Beit HaMikdash. Anveu means glorify him. Unklus translated it to build him a Beit Mikdash. The $1 million question is, what's Unklus saying? How does these three words of Ze Elim Anveu, this is my God and I'll glorify him, come out to be this is my God and I'll build him a temple, build him the sanctuary, build him a Beit HaMikdash? What's the connection? What's the relationship? So it's a very amazing. It's an amazing idea that I've seen in this book over here. In the Lekach he explains, what did the Jewish people see that they accepted upon themselves now, of all moments, of all times, to build a temple now? They just crossed through the splitting of the sea, the biggest miracle of all time, maybe until we get the Torah in a few weeks, in Mamar Har Sinai. But greatest miracle of all time, splitting of the sea. Their enemies walked into the split sea and the water closed on them and they're safe. And now they say, I'm going to build my God a temple. Is this the right time for it? Is this the best time? Is this how it works? So the idea they're explaining here is, when's the best time to act on inspiration? When's the best time to decide to do something? Is immediately. It's in the moment of the inspiration. Set your goal, set your standards, set your bar, get to the point where you want. Don't delay. Don't push it off. I said this analogy many times, I'll say it again. There was a boy in a forest, in a rainstorm, lost in a forest in the middle of the rain. Pitch black, I have no idea to get it out. We came in with my dad camping, and it got dark on us quickly, and we don't know how to get out. He's very, very, very scared. Everywhere he looks, woods there, trees behind him, mud, logs, animals, noises. How do I get out? I have no idea where to go. Pouring rain, thunder, but every few moments there was lightning. There was a boom, a lightning strike a few miles down, and clear as day. Everything looks as clear as day. You get scared, but then it realizes, whoa, when that lightning struck, I was able to see. So again, boom, lightning strikes, and he sees from in the distance, there's a village there. I see lights. Pitch black again, pouring rain, but he knows, okay, at least I know I have to walk in that direction. So he starts walking, making his way. And then again, 2 minutes later, boom, lightning, and he sees, I'm a little bit off. I have to go a little bit left, go a little bit north, go a little bit east, whatever it is, realign myself to that village. And he continues, and this happens, so on and so forth, until he gets out of the forest and finds himself at the nearby village, calling for help, and gets himself home. The idea is, it's a beautiful analogy. The idea is very simple. The idea is, when times are tough, or any times of our life rather, when the lightning strikes, what's lightning? Those moments of inspiration. They give us clarity. They give us a sense of meaning. They allow us to see. But how long does lightning last? Snap of a finger. So that moment of inspiration dissolves. What are we supposed to do with that moment of inspiration? Our job is to realign that moment of inspiration. Realign and understand, okay, what's my goal? Realign my eyes to the prize. And continue walking and going after it. And setting my standards in those moments of inspiration. The lightning strikes, again, I was a little bit too far to the right. Let me realign back to the left. There's my goal. And so on and so forth. And that is what the Onkelos, I think, is explaining. How do we keep inspiration? How do we the inspiration that we have, how do we maintain that? How do we foster and harbor it into a better person, into growing? The idea Onkelos is saying is, because when you get inspired, you set your goals. This is my God, and I will build him a temple. I'll build a Beit HaMikdash. Right now, is that the time? Splitting of the sea, just escaped Egypt. You're finally a free man. Now you're talking about building a Beit HaMikdash. Exactly is now the time. Because I finally have that inspiration. I finally have that sense of clarity. It's going to dissolve very quickly. Set my goal right away. Set my standard and strive for the best. So therefore, the Jewish people, according to Onkelos, at this moment of Yetziat Mitzrayim, of the splitting of the sea, of the Kiryat Yamsuf, when the sea split, they accept on themselves building the Beit HaMikdash, because at that moment is when it was most clear to them what their goals were. It was most clear to them how to get to the city with light. So we set our standards, accept ourselves to build a Beit HaMikdash, so when it gets dark again and it starts raining again, we still know where we're going, or so we still have an idea of what's the right way to be in. And that's the idea, one of 1,000,001 from this week's parasha, of this idea of Zeh Liva Anveu from the Az Yashir, of this is my God and I'll glorify him. This is my God and I'll build him a Beit HaMikdash, build him a temple. Why? Because when inspiration comes, do something about it. Act on it. Don't delay. You want to do something good? Do it now. Make plans to do it now. If you push it off, it won't happen and it will be lost, stuck in the forest forever. Chazak u'baruch.